The road to Diamond 1 continues on the main account with Floowandereeze. It's Monday night, May the 8th. We were able to get in a couple of matches, and if you watched my previous video, you know we were on an 8-win streak. That has been broken, unfortunately. Our first match in Platinum 2, we lost, so this is our second loss of the season, but we were able to win 4 more. So we won 16, lost 2. That's an 89% win rate. Let's go ahead and jump into these matches. Again, resources will be in the description, timestamps, and deck list video, so check those out if you're interested. Let's get it started. Alright, in this matchup here, we are going second once again, and our opening hand actually isn't that bad. We've got the D-Shifter and the Evenly Matched, but as soon as I see this, I'm like, oh, the opponent's probably on Exosister or Floowandereeze. Sure enough, they're on Floowandereeze. Going first with Floowandereeze, pretty strong. They do excavate into the Robina, which they take, so my guess is they couldn't play unless they got that. Normal summon, and they're just going to go through the standard plays. Nothing we can do right now to stop them. The fact that they search for Apex reveals, or to me, or tells me that they already have Empin in hand. Sure enough, they do. They bring back both the birds because they likely see we have no interaction on our side of the field when they summon, so likely we're not on Ash. They set 2 pass. Very important to keep track of what your opponent has in their hand, so we know that they have Eaglin and Robina and an Apex, 2 mystery cards, right? And then obviously 2 set cards, one of which is Dreaming Town. Alright, so let's continue on here. We start draw, activate Extravagance, draw 2. Hey, at least we drew into a bird. It allows us to play with Terraforming now. The opponent goes Dreaming Town when we attempt to go Battle Phase because we want to activate Evenly Matched. And they're going to go ahead and likely bring out the Apex. So they bring the Toucan to hand off Robina and Ryza to hand off of the Eaglin. So again, keeping track of what they got. They got Toucan, Ryza, Empin, and they also are going to bring back, or not Empin, sorry, Eaglin and Robina, because they're going to bring Robina back to hand as well, or Eaglin back to hand. So they've got 3 small birds, 1 Ryza in hand. We're going to still go Battle Phase Evenly Matched to get the Ryza off field. Now we're going to be able to play in main phase 2. We're going to start off by Terraforming, grabbing Map, activate Map, and because, you know, people are on weird Floowandereeze decks, I don't want to take the chance that this is an Imperm. Even though their field was lighting up on everything I was doing, so it was likely something that they could use on their own cards, like a Book of Moon, but we're still going to play it safe. Go ahead, banish and summon the Eaglin, and get Robina back to hand. We're keeping the Advent Interruption just in case we need to dodge something though. Normal summon Robina, grab Toucan, double tribute for Empin. The opponent is still not using anything, so I'm going to go ahead and activate the Advent now to grab another Empin here, bring back the Eaglin, and search for Unexplored Winds. Choose not to summon off of the Empin, activate Unexplored Winds because we still have our normal summon for turn, and then go ahead and summon Toucan, bring back the Empin, and then use Unexplored Winds to tribute off their face down card. So the opponent opts not to activate their Book of Moon, letting us tribute over it, and then we go ahead and bring back the Toucan and grab another Advent of Adventure, and then once again use the Unexplored Winds to tribute off for the second Empin here, and clear the opponent's field, putting their Empin in the graveyard. One thing I wanted to point out that may not be completely obvious to everybody: why didn't I activate Dimension Shifter? Well, during my opponent's turn, I don't want to give them free knowledge that I'm on a deck that plays Dimension Shifter, which means I'm not on tier limit. I want them to think I'm on tier limit. It's the dominant deck in the meta. You face it more than 50% of the time. I want them to play as if I'm playing tier limit. And secondly, using D-Shifter actually benefits the Floowandereeze player. So being the turn player, he might have, probably not because he doesn't seem like he knows the deck that well, but he could have done like extra extension plays potentially because the Empin is automatically banished. So you can technically recycle Empin without needing the Stree because all you need is the Toucan. So if he had a potential hand where he had more than 1 bird, he could have potentially recycled Empin and set up a stronger board. Notice he's not on Map, he's not on Unexplored Winds. If we activated Shifter, he could have potentially extended into those because he could somehow banish his own Empin and recycle it. So yeah, Shifter's a dead card in our hand, like nothing we can do with it, right? So the opponent is now going to activate Pot of Extravagance into Duality, get Evenly Matched. So that's pretty good. They're going to attempt to go Battle Phase, which prompts us to trigger the Dreaming Town here. And we're going to go ahead and bring back the Robina, search for Apex, summon Robina, grab the Stree. Now we have all birds in rotation, and grab Apex, put Apex on field and leave the Robina in the banish pile. The opponent reveals the second Book of Moon here, targeting the Apex, so we have to negate that. Not sure if it was better. It would have been better for them to go Battle Phase, activate Evenly, and then we try to activate Apex, and then they chain Book of Moon to flip Apex face down. I mean, it would end them with 2 cards, which means we would be able to end on 2 cards. But I don't know if that causes the Apex effect not to resolve to negate the Evenly Matched. Probably not worth trying if you don't know the interaction, and I don't know it, so I doubt the opponent does either. Anyways, what's happening here is very important to analyze because I talk about this in my decklist video, and why like playing 2 map is important. The evenly match is going to resolve against me. I have to keep map on field because it's my only interruption left for my opponent's turn, and it's obviously a 1 of in the deck. I have to keep it on field. It's my only advantage over my opponent at this point in time. I play 2 unexplored wins. I can let this get banished. My 1 M pin is already in graveyard. Having this Advent is actually going to win me the game potentially, because when they evenly matched, I chain Advent, banish this M pin. It prevents it from getting banished face down, and I can easily banish the unexplored wins face down because I can search for another one, and I can let this get banished face down because I have 1 in graveyard already, and I can search for the 3rd one in the deck. So that's not a problem. The main thing is we save the M pin. So sure enough, I had no problem doing this. I'm like, this is why I play around evenly and stuff. Perfect. They're going to go ahead now and try to play. They normal summon Robina, search Street. We're going to summon Street. They normal summon Street. Important interaction here, and this is what wins us the game ultimately. So they have Toucan. They can't summon it because they can, and the effect would fizzle because they have nothing to target. They have Apex. They have Ryza in hand. My guess is they likely have their other tribute monster, like the 2nd M pin or something, in hand, and they can't summon the Eaglin because it has no target left in deck. That's kind of why they needed that Pot of Prosperity. Again, so you're kind of putting the pieces together. They Pot of Prosperity, they took the Robina, they likely had no starter, so they probably started with some tribute monsters. They used the Robina, they had no spells or traps to extend off of, right? No map, no unexplored wins, etc. So the fact that they have to extend with Stree here, and they can't put back their tribute monsters off unexplored wins and draw them, etc., is actually going to win me the game, because off Robina resolving, they summon Stree. Stree's effect is going to resolve first because they're turn player, they have priority, and then my Stree is Chainlink 2. Chainlink 2, I just target the same card they're targeting with Stree, and it's the same interaction as if I, summon Stree, target a card in the graveyard, a grave shuffler shuffles it back into the deck. My Stree is going to resolve first to banish the card you target. Now the card you targeted won't get banished off of your Stree, which means your Stree won't resolve. Therefore, you cannot summon anymore. You're stuck with those tribute monsters in your hand, and the other small birds in your hand that you can't continue to summon because you don't have map in rotation, right? If you look, they don't have a normal summon anymore. So as soon as my Stree banishes this card, they know that they are stuck with those 2 small birds. They have no other extension. I'm going to be able to continue to play, summon my Toucan, and then put my big body on board, and the opponent realizes they lost and scoop it up. So that's how we were able to outplay, in my opinion, the Floowandereeze player going second. Alright, to start things off, we're going with the first match in Platinum 2, so if you watch the intro, spoiler alert, you know what happens already. So we are going second. The opponent starts off with an Analyzer, so the Adamancipator board can be very oppressive, and thankfully we have Shifter. Make a mistake by not Shiftering here. First match of the day, kind of rusty. They do reveal Guardian on the first card to excavate, and I'm like, oh man, if they summon Guardian and I try to Shifter, they just activate Guardian, right? And then they usually can extend, summon another card from hand, start linking or synchroing, whatever they want to do. So I'm like, oh shoot, I might be in trouble here. Thankfully, they summon Supplier, and then I'm like, not going to miss this opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and activate the Shifter now, which should stop their turn. Adamancipator usually just plays monsters, so no spell and traps to worry about. This stops any potential extension that they're going to attempt to do. We draw into an Extravagance, really good. Unfortunately, we literally had 3 Extravagance stacked on top of our deck. We drew that Extravagance for turn, and then we drew 2 more Extravagance off of this Extravagance. Like, I can't believe that. My hand continues to be bricked. Nothing I can do. I can't terraforming for map. I have nothing to summon off of it, so I don't want to reveal what I'm on just yet. I just go ahead and activate Defissure, make them think I'm on like Stun or Exo Sister or potentially Floowandereeze. Pass turn, and now the opponent's going to be able to play. Like, I know the Dragite can potentially spin cards back, which is likely what they're going to go for, even if these 2 cards get banished. At this point, though, they're getting free advantage. Look at this. They get a free summon off of the... they would have got a free summon off of the excavation of the Analyzer, but they miss on it somehow. And they still go into the Dragite as expected, and they're going to be able to spin back cards up to the number of rock monsters they reveal, I believe. So yeah, they easily spin back to Fissure. Doesn't actually make a difference. And then they just end turn after beating me down to 3100. The Guardian reveals the Gigantes in hand. They go ahead and activate Maxi. My guess is just to put something in the graveyard or to stop having to pop up every time. We draw Trap, so I'm like, okay, still no way to play, but we did, sorry, we didn't draw Trap, we drew Advent, and I'm like, okay, now we can play, because we can banish M-Pin and then activate Map, or activate Terraforming, bring Map. But the problem is this Guardian here. So I activate Extravagance, and they Ash, and I'm like, oh my god, of course they drew Ash for turn, so they stop us, we activate Defissure, and looking back on this now, I realize I make a misplay. I probably still lose, to be honest. But okay, I activate Terraforming Bring Map, activate Advent of Adventure. You know, if I just, it's so frustrating to like, I would think I was mainly just like demoralized, losing coin tosses again after starting you know, on the next day, having a brick hand for like 2 turns. I should have brought Robina. Why? Because I activate Map, reveal Robina, banish Eaglin, summon Robina, chain block it with Eaglin. If they choose not to negate the Eaglin with the Guardian, I bring Eaglin back to hand. I search Toucan with Robina. I still have my normal summon for turn. If I summon Eaglin, they choose to negate it. That's fine. I normal summon Toucan for turn, bring back Empin, tribute both, bring Empin to field. Right? Get unexplored wins, and I can continue to play from there. I can beat over the Dragite, put them on nothing. Defissure is still alive. I have Trap already. I probably win the game from there, honestly. But oh man, it's so frustrating to look back and see how I misplay here now because of this. So because I bring Eaglin, I banish the Robina, and now all they have to do is stop the Robina. Either stop it here or stop it on the normal summon, and I lose. So yeah, they just tribute, and it's not even sent to graveyard, it's just tribute the card so they can activate it under Fissure. So huge misplay. Now that I look back, I actually didn't realize this until I'm watching it back. I'm actually kind of frustrated that I made that misplay. And you know what's funny is I'm pretty sure last season, before tier limits and stuff was out, you know, and Adamancipator was still a pretty top tier deck, I'm pretty sure I've done this interaction like at least 4 or 5 times, and I knew how to play around it. But for some reason, like I said, Monday night, first game on, just being a dummy. So deservingly, we lose that game, actually. Almost came back from a brick going second. Damn, that sucks.